Welcome to the ISO IEC 20,000 Foundation Exam Sample Paper. So what I would do is I would kind of take you through the questions and list out the various options for that particular question. And what you could do is you could pause the video and explore the options and choose the right option. So what I would do is I would kind of read the question for you and then give the answer. And you could kind of pause at any point of time to read through the options. Um, and, uh, and that way, that will really help you close any gaps in your thinking when it comes to exams. So question number one, which statement describes ISO IEC 20001? The correct answer is it contains service management system requirements. That's basically an appropriate statement that describes what ISO 20001 is all about. What is the relationship between service management best practice and ISO IEC 20001? The relationship is service management best practice gives advice, whereas the ISO IEC 20001 defines requirements for a service management system. These are the shells. These are mandatory requirements to be certified as an ISO IEC 20001 certified. Question number three. What is the relationship between ISO IEC 20001, ISO 9001, and ISO IEC 27001? The correct answer is a systems management, a service management system can be integrated with a quality management system based on ISO 9001 or an information security management system based on ISO IEC 27001. Number four, which statement describes the primary role of a registered certified or certification body within the certification scheme? The correct answer is the primary role of an RCB is to assess the service provider against part one of the standard. Question number five, which is an example of the ISO IEC 20001 definition of a record? The correct answer is a service report. Question number six, which statement best describes the service provider in the context of ISO IEC 20001? The correct answer is the organization that manages and delivers services to the customer. That statement best describes what a service provider is. Number seven, what is a common name for the methodology known as PDCA, also known as Plan, Do, Check, and Act? The correct answer is Demings. William Demings was the individual who gave us this cycle. So it's kind of named after him, the Demings cycle. Number eight, which elements does ISO IEC 20001 require a service provider organization to continually improve? The correct answer is C, the services and the service management system. Number nine, which statement best describes the scope of ISO IEC 20001? The correct answer is B, specifies the requirements for a service provider to manage a service management system. Number 10, who is required to review the service provider's service management system and services within the service management system of ISO IEC 20000-1? The correct answer is top management. M11, what is the objective of clause 8.5.2, service design and transition? The correct answer is the objective is to ensure that new and changed services will be deliverable and manageable at the agreed cost and service quality. Number 12, identify the missing words in the following sentence. ISO IEC 20001 specifies that every SLA should include service level targets, and exceptions. And the answer is workload limits. Number 13, which set of inputs would be most appropriate for determining service continuity requirements for a service? Correct answer is business requirements, service level agreements, and risks. Number 14, identify the missing words in the following sentence. The information required in a service catalog includes a description of services, their and dependencies between the services. And the answer is their intended outcomes. Number 15, what is the objective of service continuity management? The objective is to ensure that agreed commitments to continue to provide services to customers can be met in foreseeable circumstances. Number 16, how are security controls to address information security risks related to external organizations defined? The answer is A, the controls are agreed with external organizations. Number 17, what level of competence does ISO IEC 20001 require for all staff working within the scope of this service management system? The correct answer is C, sufficient training to enable staff to perform their role competently. Number 18, which would not be included in a service provider's plans for capacity management? The answer is service level agreements. Number 19, which would not be included in a service management plan? The answer is service desk contact details and hours of service. Number 20, which of these is required to be defined in release and deployment management? The answer is A, frequency and type of releases. Number 21, how frequently are reviews of performance trends and outcomes of these services required to be reviewed? They need to be done at planned intervals. Option C is the right answer. Where an external supplier is using a subcontractor supplier, who is responsible for ensuring that the subcontractor supplier meets their contractual obligations? And the answer is the external supplier. 23, what process is responsible for reviewing the effectiveness of new or changed services? The answer is change management, D. Number 24, which is a requirement of incident management for a major incident? The answer is A, responsibility shall be assigned for managing a major incident. 25, which statement is applicable to ISO IEC 20001? The answer is B, it's independent of specific guidance. Number 26, which is not a specific top management responsibility within ISO IEC 20001? The answer is communicating the service management policies to the customers. 27, which process would control actions identified by problem management to correct errors in the infrastructure? The answer is D, change management. 28. What is the name of a subsection included within the support of the service management system requirements? The answer is documented information. 29. Which process includes a requirement related to controls for the retention and disposition of records? The answer is C, documented information. Number 30, what is the requirement for within ISO IEC 20001 concerning emergency changes? The answer is the change management policy shall define how they are to be managed. 31, which statement applies when a service provider organization wishes to demonstrate conformity to the requirements of ISO IEC 20001? The answer is B, all service management processes must be implemented and all requirements must be demonstrated. Number 32, when an internal supplier is operating part of the service management processes, which process is required to manage the supplier? The answer is B, supplier management. 33, identify the missing words in the following sentence. The two types of documents that need to be produced for an audit are evidence of dash and records of achievement. The answer is intent, C. Number 34, what is the difference between part 1 and the other parts of ISO IEC 20000 series? The answer is part 1 contains mandatory requirements, whereas the other parts provide supporting guidance. Identify the missing words in the following sentence. The definition of the scope of the service management system shall include the services in scope and the managing and the dash managing and delivering the service. And the name of the organization managing and delivering the services. 36. What is the main factor in establishing whether ISO IEC 20001 certification is applicable to a service provider organization that has outsourced the management of its data center? The answer is A, effective process and supplier management controls must be in place. 37, which statement is correct? B is the right answer. An observation is a recommendation for potential improvement and does not lead to a failure to achieve certification. Number 38, how many years is an ISO IEC 20001 certificate valid for in the APMG certification scheme? The answer is 3 years. Which audit performed by the registered certification body is required to be carried out at least annually? Surveillance audit. C is the right answer. Number 40, which statement describes the responsibility for conducting the internal, the recertification, and the surveillance audits? The correct answer is B. The RCB is responsible for conducting the recertification and surveillance audits. The service provider carries out the internal audits.